What's up, everybody on YouTube? AJ Rest back to discuss another video, and today we're going to be talking about how Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion is revitalizing the MCU. This is a spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't watched Secret Invasion episode 1 and 2. You have been warned, and for y'all who have seen it, man, let's talk. So guys, this is really a video I wanted to make after episode 1. Of course, with Agent Maria Hill dying after Gravik shot her, impersonating Nick Fury, I was like, dang, this show is going crazy. But really, after seeing episode 2, I was like, man, this is probably going to be perfect to post it at this point. 6 total episodes and things of that nature. We have 4 more, so this is like the perfect little, not midpoint, but little time to drop this. And really, man, this show is just straight paranoia. Like, obviously, the premise of this show is that you can't trust anyone and things of that nature, but man, it has me second guessing everyone. Like, man, is this person a Skrull? Is she a Skrull? Is he a Skrull? We saw James Rhodes in the second episode. He looked a little bit suspect to me as well. And I'm not saying that he's been a Skrull this whole time, but it definitely is possible that he was impersonated at some point. Like, I'm not saying that he's been one since before Civil War all this time, because in episode 2, he did talk about how he knew about the Skrulls for the past 15 years, essentially. And right now, it's around 2025 or 2026 in the MCU, so that would mark around like 2011, 2010, around the events of Iron Man 2. So one could infer that maybe Tony Stark knew about that. I don't know exactly, because he did say it was top secret. But even subtle vibes like Rhodey calling Nick Fury Nick instead of Fury, because most people call him Fury, not just Nick, that looked a little bit suspect to me. And he was just way more hostile than usual. Obviously, Rhodey has always been like a different character in terms of he's had like some of a personality, like he's willing to go there, willing to do the extreme, but at the same time, like, he was moving different in my opinion. And then also in episode 2, we saw NATO, all of the government leaders, they were also revealed to be Skrulls, meeting with Gravik and things of that nature, and now he's the head general operating things. That's going to be a real problem. And we also know that the Skrulls are developing new technology to essentially become super Skrulls like in the comics. Some of those potential power sets that were on that computer were things of that nature, from powers of Groot, Frost Beast, Cold Obsidian, and Extremis. I saw Gravik in one of the trailers extend his arm similarly to Groot, so it looks like he's going to inherit those powers, or possibly all 4 power sets. Extremis, they're kind of similar in a sense, similar looking to Johnny Storm, also known as Human Torch. And also that's a connotation to the comics. Super Skrulls have resembled powers of the Fantastic Four. And it seems like, of course, we haven't gotten the Fantastic Four yet, not until 2025, I believe. But it seems like they're trying to resemble these type of things with these powers. And then Cold Obsidian is one of the bigger beasts in the MCU. We saw that in Infinity War. And then Frost Beast, they were in Thor: The Dark World, so they're also bigger creatures as well. We also saw into the history and background of Nick Fury and the Skrulls. 2 years after Captain Marvel took place in 1997, he met with some Skrulls, basically making a deal with them to essentially making a pact to them. If they help protect the world, that he would help protect them. And Gravik, it seemed like he was also pretty hostile, even young as a kid. Like, he was very skeptical about humans. And we saw Talos with Fury back then in 1997, assemble with these Skrulls who decided to take Nick Fury's side. We also saw Nick Fury's wife, who appears to be a Skrull. She was at little gathering in 1997 to try and have Skrulls become allies. So yeah, since Captain Marvel, of course, Nick Fury has had close ties to these Skrulls pretty much over 30 years now at this point in the MCU. And on that train scene with what appears to be Talos, it actually isn't him. It's revealed to be that lady. But she tells Nick Fury how 1 million plus Skrulls, when they left their world, ended up going to the Earth. And now, of course, with the blip happening post-Endgame, it's going to be hostile. And like I said, it's going to be that sense of paranoia for sure. Like, literally, imagine a world where you think you knew someone your entire life. And now it's dangerous too, because Skrulls are inheriting people's thoughts and memories. They're gonna know everything, and you won't be able to decipher and things of that nature. Having Nick Fury just go against these characters, oh my gosh. And having Nick Fury just go against these Skrulls when he already appears to not necessarily be washed up, but he definitely isn't as spry as he used to. He wasn't able to save Maria Hill, who's one of the best agents in the MCU, been in the MCU since 2012. It still shocks me that they actually killed her off, but we saw her mom at her little memorial before being put on the plane, and she looked very pissed off. Of course, that's her daughter that died. He told Nick Fury make sure she doesn't die for anything. So it's a lot of stakes right now. Gravik is trying to hurt Nick Fury for sure. It's very personal, and I'm really loving this show for sure. The espionage, the thriller aspect of it, it's really beautiful. Definitely a change of pace for the MCU, but I love it and welcome it. Talking about the Rhodey and Nick Fury scene a little bit more, they obviously mentioned about getting the Avengers involved, and Nick Fury is absolutely right. You can't get the Avengers involved with this because they can take the forms of these characters. Now, they haven't necessarily achieved all of the science in terms of becoming Super Skrulls yet, but if they do and are able to, that would be so catastrophic and dangerous for the Avengers. So that's what I'm trying to think about going in the MCU forward, how it's revitalizing the MCU. We of course are shaping up things to be for Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. And I don't want to talk about the Jonathan Majors case right now, but things and more evidence are being shown. I'm still confident that he'll be Kang. This is a really good storyline as well. And it's going to be interesting. Are Skrulls going to join the forces of the MCU going forward in terms of, Secret Wars, in terms of Kang Dynasty and things of that nature? Because of course, that's like 4 to 5 years from now, pending any more delays. Of course, the writer strikes and things like that. So we don't know how much things will get delayed or when things will be settled. But that's a huge storyline. Like, that's not something to gloss over. You can't be like, oh man, well, Skrulls are everywhere, but we're not worried about it. We're just going to go to Kang and things of that nature. Nah, that's a huge deal. Like, that's a huge deal. So, and I don't think that Nick Fury is going to be able to solve this problem by himself or with a couple more characters. Maybe Rhodey will get involved at some point, but I'm still skeptical about his appearance in this show from episode 2 because, man, it seems so suspect, and the Skrulls can turn into anyone at any given moment, so I can't trust that. A theory that I have, of course, with Marvel, we already know they love to do this, but there'll be a misdirect at the end of the series, and I do think that Super Skrulls could end up being the main villain of the Fantastic Four film that we will get in 2025. Matt Shakman, who did direct WandaVision, will be directing the Fantastic Four MCU film, so I do have some solid expectations for this movie. It's Marvel's first family. We really haven't seen them done well in live action. The early 2000s movies were solid, I would say, but at the same time, they didn't give these characters justice like they deserve to, how they've been in the comics. So yeah, I think that they potentially will face Super Skrull. There have already been leaks and reports that Dr. Doom won't be the main villain of the Fantastic Four movie, which is good because he has been for the other Fantastic Four movies that we've gotten. And that's good anyways because he's more of a MCU big bad than just a Fantastic Four big bad. In the Secret Wars comics in 2015, he becomes God Emperor Doom. And I feel like if the MCU takes that type of stance, whether it's in Secret Wars or saving him for a different phase, that would be amazing. But I feel like it's hard to do Secret Wars without including Dr. Doom. Kang Dynasty, he's going to be the main antagonist or even a protagonist in the sense of it's his story in Kang Dynasty. But you have to include Dr. Doom at some type of capacity in Secret Wars, I'm thinking. But regardless of that situation, I think that Super Skrulls will be the main antagonist for the Fantastic Four. Gravik, man, he's a huge menace. One thing that would really annoy me is if they killed Gravik off at the end of this series. Oh my gosh, I already know myself and a lot of MCU fans would be disgusted with that because he is a huge threat. And like we see in this show has huge stakes. They're not playing around with anyone right now. Kobe Smulders, Maria Hill died. Anyone else can die at this point. It's fair game. So this series is getting really good. It's revitalizing and shifting a lot of things in the MCU. Like I said before, constant paranoia. This show will certainly have a lot of ramifications and impact for projects including the upcoming Captain America Brave New World movie and other potential grounded MCU projects, because at the end of the day, this ultimately does include politics and government. We'll see who's corrupted and how exactly or who exactly is going to take control. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Some of your theories for the rest of this series, how you think this will impact the MCU going forward. I appreciate you guys watching. Always make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggyRest, and also on TikTok at SwaggyRest02 for more cooking videos, short content, and things of that nature. More videos are on the way. Hope your summer is going well. Hope you are being blessed. Thank you for all the continued support. Know that you can accomplish and conquer anything. And yeah, y'all have a good one.